The Canadian production of Billy Elliot the Musical is set to open in Toronto. And as Deanna Sumanak discovered, the onstage story of a boy's struggle to dance mirrors the lives of the show's young stars.
They leap, they twirl, and then they rotate, and another boy steps into Billy Elliot's dancing shoes for a night. Myles Erlick, J.P. Viernes, Cesar Corrales, and Marcus Pay share the lead role in the hit musical about to open in Toronto. It's based on the movie about an English boy from a mining town whose love of ballet gets him in conflict with his macho environment. Good job.
Yes.
These pint-sized bros could be rivals, but they're not. They've beat out thousands of would-be Billies to get starring roles in the musical that's been called a global theatrical phenomenon, taking in over $20 million in its Broadway incarnation alone. Another thing these boys have in common: years of being teased for their love of ballet.
When I was a bit younger, like at school and stuff, my friends would sometimes make fun of me and stuff, like ballerina boy, tiny toes and stuff like that.
Some other people even told me, come on, that's for gay people. I was like, no guys, come on. And I mean, it was a really hard experience.
Also like the character of Billy, these boys had their Mrs. Wilkinson, the supportive teacher who fuels Billy Elliot's love of ballet.
And my teacher was named Deborah Bose.
I had Mrs. Bose.
I had Miss Bose.
Deborah Bose has been teaching at the National Ballet School in Toronto for almost 40 years. She's taught hundreds of boys, including 3 of the 4 young stars of Billy Elliot. Bose says that when it comes to ballet, you have to teach boys differently than girls.
If you're doing an exercise in which you're focusing on a very detailed part of their training, then you want to make the next exercise one that is going to travel across the floor at top speed, where they're using their larger muscles and having that sense of adventure and risk that they need.
But how will the boys of Billy Elliot fare now that they're making the big leap beyond the supportive atmosphere of their ballet schools to the scrutiny of the stage? This is where their families kick in.
Wow. Are you going to do it now too?
He wants to do it. Myles Erlick's family, based in Burlington, Ontario, now spends most of its time in Toronto shuttling Myles between performances and tutoring sessions.
It's a challenge. I don't like to call it a sacrifice as much as a lifestyle choice, but it's definitely challenging.
But these days, those family compromises, hours of practice, and even the teasing seem to be the last thing on the minds of the 4 young stars of Billy Elliot. Now, it's their time to show Canadian audiences that real boys do dance ballet.
And Deanna Sumanak joins us now. You know, Deanna, it's so wonderful that these young dancers get this chance to shine on stage. But I guess the reality is, at least in this production, it can't last that long, can it?
You're absolutely right, Nancy. There is an expiration date on their time in the spotlight. Basically, when their voice breaks or they grow too tall for the role, they're going to have to surrender Billy's dancing shoes to a younger kid. Even in the time I've known these boys, which is since September or October, they have grown visibly. And so I asked their parents how they've prepped them for what could be a disappointing, even traumatic experience for such a young kid. And I feel like they have a great support system around them. A lot of these parents were dancers themselves. I think 3 out of the 4 boys' moms were ballet dancers, and they've told them, they really instilled with them the sense, this is a fun time in your life, enjoy it, but it's not all your life. And some of the boys actually want to be scientists, mathematicians, teachers, so I think that they're aware that this is a great opportunity, fun time, but it doesn't define who you are.
Very interesting. Thanks, Deanna.
You're welcome.